So rumours have abounded for several weeks now that beloved phone manufacturer OnePlus sadly has a shorter life expectancy than a sickly guinea pig with a deep fondness for battered bratwurst and pissing about on the M25. It does indeed appear like OnePlus will indeed be pulling out of many global regions, including Blighty, imminently, if the latest internet gossip is to be believed. But the one wee golden nugget in this otherwise river of is that we'll apparently be gifted one final flagship before they bugger right off out of it. That's right, the OnePlus 16, which is still set to launch globally towards the arse end of the year. And if this is indeed OnePlus's global swan song, then let's hope that they go out Scarface style, screaming at the top of their lungs and firing off all the big guns. And certainly after more than a decade of serving up a gallery's worth of iconic smartphones. And the OnePlus 16 has already leaked a whole bunch, so here's a partially inebriated bald man reading some of that stuff off of the internet so you don't have to. And just think of me as your own personal AI, except a bit more sweary and even worse for the planet. Techspert Weekly! So from all of these leaks, OnePlus once again seems to have designed this phone with mobile gamers in mind. You can expect the same feature-packed gaming mode to be crammed in there, of course, but one of the highlights of this final flagship will apparently be that display. Most of the screen specs do sound rather familiar. The OnePlus 16 should sport yet another 6.78-inch AMOLED LTPO panel with a 1.5K resolution. However, a dependable tipster on Weibo, however you pronounce that thing, reckons that this latest screen will hit the giddy heights of 240Hz refresh. That's a big leap over the OnePlus 15, which to be fair was already smoother than a greased up Barry White thanks to its 165Hz display. Now of course such a ridiculously high refresh would only be supported by a handful of games at best anyway, and anyone with peepers as decrepit as your uncle's spurts is hardly going to notice the difference between 165Hz and 240Hz. And of course, to actually run any games at anywhere approaching 240 frames per second, you will need a proper meaty chipset. But more good news on that front, as the OnePlus 16 should be one of the first to feature Qualcomm's upcoming Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro. Qualcomm further proven that it is the absolute master of unwieldy chipset names. And aye, that's right, for this Snapdragon 8 Elite generation, we'll apparently have a regular and a Pro version, both based on 2nm architecture, but with an upgraded GPU for that Pro model, as well as a couple of other wee advantages like more graphical memory. So it makes sense for OnePlus to stuff that one inside of their gaming-centric smartphone, certainly. As usual, of course, that should be snuggled right up next to a bloody huge vapor chamber, just to keep things from getting too toasty. Ugh, far too much intense tech talking, one big spurt right there. Bear with me, just need to redress the balance a bit. Tits and cocks, tits and cocks. Right, good to go I think. Now one of the absolute highlights of the OnePlus 15 was its stupendous battery life, but it appears that OnePlus still ain't satisfied. So apparently they've gone and crammed a honkin' great 9,000 mAh capacity battery into the OnePlus 16, at least if those rumours aren't a soggy sack of pig swill. Not quite the largest battery of any phone that I've tested, that honour certainly goes to the Realme P4 Power, which is swaggering about rocking a 10,000 mAh mega gate. But considering the OnePlus 15 delivered over 6 hours of non-stop Wuthering Waves action on maxed out graphics from a single charge, I'm certainly expecting a similarly stupidly good result from the OnePlus 16. And hopefully we'll also enjoy the same supremely nippy 120W wired charging and 50W wireless charging support. Now one area where the old OnePlus 15 sadly stumbles a bit compared with other flagship phones is the camera tech. The 50MP primary and the telephoto shooters use relatively small sensors, and despite the lack of Hasselblad processing, they're generally fine for everyday shooting, but do prove to be not quite so hot for low-light photography and action snaps. But the good news is OnePlus appears to be overhauling its optics for this latest generation, so rumours reckon that they'll be cramming in a pair of 200 megapixel cameras this time around. Now, dare I dream that these just happen to be the exact same 200 meg Lightyear 901 and OmniVision sensors that OPPO just crammed into its Find X9 Ultra for its primary and 3x telephoto shooters. I really, really bloody hope so. And, you know, while I'm wishing, I might as well have a stein of whiskey and 5 Alicia Vikanders, please. As for the rest of the OnePlus 16, well, you can expect another reassuringly rugged design with full dust, water and spurt resistance. No other leaked renders or other hints have emerged on the internet so far, but personally I'd really like a nod to some of those OnePlus classics, if this is indeed the final global flagship that OnePlus will ever spaff out. So I'd be overjoyed with the return to the all-metal magic of some of those early handsets, for instance, which wouldn't exactly be too outlandish given they did it with one of their Node phones recently. Or perhaps a lovely bold finish just like the lava red OnePlus 5T, or that oh my god just take me now thunder purple OnePlus 6T. If they can do a OnePlus 7 and chuck in a pop-up selfie camera just for shits and giggles, then I'd be one happy spurter. But hey, what about you? What would you like to see from possibly the final OnePlus global flagship blower? And also, what are some of your fondest OnePlus memories from the past 13, 14 years? I've subsequently drunk away most of mine, so it'd be great to hear some of yours. I just have to do the tappity tap thing in the comments bit down below. And now, because I hate myself, it's time for viewer comments. Viewer comments.
You just made the list!
So let's begin this week with the Arby. You're right, the Arby, who says, nice one, Techspert. Hope you had a good time in my city. I'm assuming you mean Edinburgh, and absolutely, mate, had an absolutely smashing time there. I mean, how could I not enjoy a city where they've got probably about 20 times more whiskey shops than hospitals? And Stevie Coleman says, man, that brings back some nostalgia, bit of Benny Hill. I remember watching him growing up in the 80s. Yeah, 100%. It was mandatory viewing in my household growing up as well. Basically, Benny Hill, Heidi High, Allo Allo, all the bangers, all the heavily dated bangers. Mishi Banton says, that's Last Ronin Mikey there, right? Truly a man of culture. It is indeed, spoiler alerts, I guess, for Last Ronin. But yeah, love me some Turtles, and that is absolutely my favourite, I've got the graphic novel here, in fact. Favourite book from the Turtles universe. I've had a bit of a Turtles nostalgia fest recently, actually, because when we were in Edinburgh, I went to the Museum of Childhood and I went and spied. They had that old Konami handheld Turtles game that 8-year-old me went absolutely apeshit over. And then on the Wear OS store just last week, I stumbled across a retro Turtles-style digital watch face that I was highly tempted to spunk £1.79 on. And I also recently rewatched those proper live-action Turtles movies from back in the sort of late 80s, early 90s, and still absolutely astounded that anyone managed to do any kind of martial arts shenanigans while dressed in those whopping great costumes. Just imagine it was like attempting a spinning high kick while having a sodden fridge strapped to your back. And Grimly666 says, have you reviewed the chair that you're sat on? I'm looking to buy a new office chair, and a review of said chair would help. Thanks. Yeah, my spine is absolutely buggered. Like sometimes I completely knacker it just by farting slightly off kilter. So yeah, I always struggled to find a chair that I actually felt comfortable in. But yeah, this one's an absolute lifesaver. Like thanks to this thing, I no longer knacker myself just by sitting still for a bit. And I've just looked it up. I did indeed review it very briefly in Techspert Weekly episode 92 back in the day. So here's that, I guess. And just before we dive into the plague pit that is viewers' comments, I've got just about enough time for a quick mini review. And so this week I want to gush all over my fresh new chair. Not like that though, it's not that kind of show just yet. So this here is the Boolies Elite Series ergonomic chair in grey fabric. It costs just 280 quid on boolies.co.uk, which is a very respectable price compared with some gaming chairs out there. It did take a bit of assembly. The base in particular was a pain in the arse, but nothing too horrific. Certainly even my DIY dyslexic abilities managed to get it thrown together in about an hour or so. And normally with most chairs, because I'm a creaky old twat these days, my back starts to go after a couple of hours, but this thing I could park my arse in all day long. You got that lovely curved backrest which just matches the curvature of your spine. And by pulling this lever back here, it does actually recline as well. Oh, let's just drift my way back to the desk again. And it actually goes fully flat
as well. So, you know, you spend all day in your home office, slogging away, and then, you know, it gets to the evening, you can't be bothered to drag your ass up to bed, so away you go. Look, it even comes with a bloody pillow bundled with it. Job done. Oh, this is lovely. Maybe I can just present like this for the rest of the show. Let's get that back. Oh, f***ing hell. As for the actual fabric, well, it is fully water repellent, so you can spill as much as you like on it, go nuts. I get static electric shocks like a mofo off of these armrests as well, so that's fun, keeps me on my toes. Back when I was shooting these videos in what used to be my old garage. Upgraded these days, of course, to my spare bedroom. It's not quite an MKBHD setup, but who knows, maybe by 2040 I'll have some actual proper lights, maybe even a cameraman. Ooh, fancy. Secure UK 2025 says, I think you should start another channel called Techspert Reacts. Well, for anyone who hasn't yet subbed, I have actually already set up a second channel called The Spurt Hole. It's mostly just me absolutely pounding back loads of booze. Not really much reacting, unless you count like horrifically regretting my life decisions the following day. Dave204 says, Honor 600 Pro or Magic 8 Pro, Uncle Spurt, given that the latter is currently on offer from the Honor UK website for £899 with a free tablet, charger and AI notebook thingy. Sounds like an absolutely cracking deal, to be honest. I like the Honor Magic 8 Pro. It's definitely got better specs overall compared with the Honor 600 Pro. It's a proper full-on flagship, so if you want that absolutely spanking good performance and everything, and if it comes with free tablets and stuff and it's basically the same price as the 600 Pro, then yeah, bollocks to it. Lee Robinson says, sorry for the 0-5 thrashing of Sunderland by my team Forest. He. Are you sorry, mate? Are you? Honestly, what the actual was that match? I just sat there, just like jaw on the floor. I just pray that our entire team spent, at least a couple of hours before the match huffing insane amounts of glue. I'm talking entire stables worth. Because it was just like watching an entirely different team. It was so traumatizing that I turned it off at halftime. I couldn't tolerate it anymore. I ended up watching the entire Louis Theroux documentary about the Manosphere instead because it was considerably less depressing. Now, in last week's show, of course, banged on at considerable length about the upcoming Sony Xperia 1 Mark 8. So lots of lovely correspondence on that topic, including Excalibur 2596, who says, all Sony has to do to dominate the smartphone market is lower the price to around $1,000, improve their software support, and actually market their phones. Yeah, the marketing thing is kind of nuts. It's just mad when you consider that the likes of Apple and Samsung will literally drape enormous 600-foot adverts all over skyscrapers, towers, airports, even cathedrals I've seen in the past from Samsung. And then you've got Sony, who seemingly can't even be bothered to slap an ad on the side of a bus stop. And of course, Apple and Samsung are, aiming for a wide general audience, whereas Sony targeting a more niche audience, basically gamers and content creators. But yeah, some kind of marketing strategy might not be terrible. Brian's8653 says, all I want is a 21:9 aspect ratio and a better zoom camera. I would certainly not say no to either of those either, so certainly every external fleshy bit tightly crossed that your hopes and dreams come true. Brian McClelland says, I didn't think that anyone would still even review a Sony Xperia phone anymore. Well, so you can 100% rely on your Uncle Spurt to review all of the random shit that other actually popular YouTube tech twats can't be arsed with. Soundbounce123 says, I miss my XZ3, that was peak Xperia for me. Yeah, I'd have to agree there. The XZ3 was just like the pinnacle, certainly of the post-Ericsson era, at the very least. That purple one, oof, get right in my trousers. I was just absolutely gutted that they didn't spaff out an XZ3 compact. Although, to be fair, if they had done that, it was probably going to be the end of me, drowned in a frothy bukkake explosion of my own making. Warren Robinson says, once I finally gave up on BlackBerry, I started buying Sony phones like the Z5 Premium, the first phone with a 4K screen, but then they started falling behind for the technology. I'm glad that they are putting out another phone, but the chances of it being sold in the USA and having the right frequencies for 5G in the United States are pretty small. I still vividly remember being in the press briefing where Sony announced
the Xperia Z5 Premium, and as soon as he mentioned that it had a 4K screen, all of us just looked at each other like, what the f did he just say? 4K on a sodden smartphone, is this lad mental? But then of course these were the golden days where LG was still launching mental modular smartphones, and HTC was putting out gorgeous flagships. I actually had more hair grown on my head than out of my nostrils and my bloody lugs. Rosa Vizaki says, the most important question is, what would be TechSpert's single malt of choice? Honestly, I'm really not that fussy at all. Like, my one requirement for a whiskey is that it doesn't completely strip the lining off of my throat as it's going down. If it ticks that particular box, then I'm more than satisfied. I do really like a Speyside, in fact, secreted in here. This is one of the best ones that I've tried in recent times, but a 10-year Mortlach. It's pretty strong stuff, 58.4%, this cheeky wee bugger right here, and this is my final miniature bottle of it as well, so I'm saving this one for a very special occasion. Like when Netflix finally agrees to pay me a flippin' huge wad to do a fresh new series called Uncle Spurt f***s off around the globe and drinks excessive amounts of booze until his liver finally falls out of his arse. And Jaspreet Singh Suman says, "Hey-o Uncle Spurt, you know Venn diagrams, just when I thought you couldn't get any cooler." I think I may be detecting a subtle hint of sarcasm somewhere in there. But yes, I did used to be a massive maths sport. I actually got an A at A level in maths and a D in further maths. Back in my young and fresh days where I could drink heavily but also still remember stuff. Anyway, bang out of time unfortunately, but a massive thanks to everyone who commented last week. Very much appreciated indeed. Please do tap your thoughts, comments, etc. down below. So yeah, thoughts about OnePlus, happiest memories, best OnePlus smartphones throughout time, but also any non-tech stuff that you fancy chatting about, be it Ninja Turtles or the Manosphere. Please not the Manosphere, actually, let's not get into that. Bloody HS Tiki Toki, it sounds like some chirpy anthropomorphic tugboat. Yes, please type your stuff down below and we'll get through as many of those as possible next week. And beginning next week, what the f*** is next week? So next week we have a big tech launch from our great mates over at Huawei, who are spaffing out some fresh, shiny new tech over in Bangkok on Thursday. Sadly, I won't be there in person to catch ping pong balls in my pint glass, but I will be providing you some video entertainment of a very different nature right here on the TechSperts. So stay tuned for that. The more eagle-eyed of you might have noticed I'm rocking a bit of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 again as well. Just went back to it again this week out of curiosity to see if the battery life's improved, if there's any other updates that have changed the overall experience. So hoping to maybe put out a long-term 9-month review of this next week. And please do join me same time, same place next Friday for another hot dose of TechSpert Weekly. A massive thanks again for watching this shower through to the bitter end. Please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell if you haven't done so already. And more importantly, have yourselves a ruzzy, wonderful weekend. Cheers, everybody. Love you.